I'm not gonna lie, bro. This shit got me aggravated because now everybody just acting like they just so concerned, and now everybody want to slide and do all this extra bullshit. If niggas didn't make Jay feel so comfortable to do what she did in the first place, then none of this shit wouldn't even be fucking happening. Niggas ain't want to nip the shit in the bud when it was really an issue. When you let the nigga know about it, it's that's what you get. Now the next day, everybody just want to slide. That's corny as hell. I'm aggravated now at this point, cause y'all motherfuckers is weird as fuck. Don't nobody never tell this nigga that he wrong though. Don't nobody never tell this nigga that all this shit is coming from the fact that you can't go get a DNA test and figure out what the fuck going on with this girl. Like, this shit is really out of hand. Niggas don't nip the shit in the bud, then when it get out of control, now everybody don't know what to do. Fuck out of here.
And that's a whole fact. And it's like right now I feel set up. I feel all type of shit. Like, I feel every 5 seconds in my head, all I keep hearing on the left side of, like, in my left ear, all I keep hearing is those fucking gunshots. And all I keep seeing every time I blink or anything is just me bending down and all the glass just shattering. Like, that's all I see. That's all I hear. Like, somebody really tried to fucking kill me over some dick, over because of you lying about somebody shooting up your house or not, and all this extra dumbass shit when you could have just fought me. Everything could have been avoided if you would have just fought me. And then it's like, you not lying. If motherfuckers, when I was saying shit need to be taken care of before, because shit gonna get out of hand, shit is gonna go left, this, that, and the third, motherfuckers wanted to argue with me, motherfuckers wanted to make it seem like I was tripping, like I'm bugging and all this extra shit, when whole time I just seen where this shit was going. Like, this shit had no choice but to get bad. If you know you not feeling her and you not, it ain't no type of nothing between y'all, put her in her place. Nip all of that shit in the butt from jump, and none of this would be going on right now. I could be dead right now, dog. Y'all be calling funeral homes right now for me. Like, come on, man. And I'm damn near like alone type shit, like, literally, like. Then I go to Naj's house to wait for my cab and shit from when I left the ER. I leave the ER, go straight to her house. I'm telling her what happened. She just said, like, oh, word, that's crazy as hell. Like, even my brother was like, damn, the vibe in there weird as hell. Like, yo, she looked like she saw a ghost type shit. Like, she looked like she saw a ghost. Like, how the fuck you hit right here type shit. Like she was not shocked. She wasn't concerned. Nothing. Like, nothing. Like, at all. I'm trying to call her to see who, like, you know, what kind of car that was, because, you know, like, the dude who be sitting outside her house, which is supposedly Jay's brother, I guess, you know, but he been sitting outside her house for weeks or whatever. But I never saw who was in the car. I just know that the car would sit there, and then if I pull up, or like even if her baby father will pull up, he'll pull off. And once he pull off and shit, once we pull up, he'll pull off. So I'm calling her to see, like, what's the exact kind of car. She not even answering the phone, not responding to my messages, nothing. The phone going straight to voicemail. Hit me up Tuesday out of nowhere, dude, and sent me that picture of that dude that I just sent you, and was like, this the dude that be sitting out my house? And I said, I don't know. We never saw the face type shit.
That ass. They awesome bitches. Y'all are bitches. For real. It was niggas in the car when they came to your house. It was niggas in the car when y'all was outside fighting. I could have hopped out at any fucking point. And when nobody been there to do shit. So cut all this. I'm riding around looking for niggas doing all that extra shit the fuck out. For real. Niggas ain't really trying to do nothing. Like that shit really taking me there. Cause y'all motherfuckers is really sitting here on the phone trying to gang up, trying to do shit like y'all really gonna do something. But if this nigga don't do nothing, ain't nobody else gonna do shit. Y'all weird as hell. You knew, why you ain't tell nobody? What is y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Nothing.
Girl, I'm dead. You knew, why you ain't say nothing? For one, D was fucking living in this house with these people. He know everything about them. He the only one that could get up on them. He know shit I don't even know. Just like I didn't even know that. Just like I didn't even know that was her motherfucking brother that was sitting outside of Naj's house until Naj said something to me about it. I never paid attention to her brothers and all this extra shit. I'm not on it like that. I'm not in a business like that. I'm not thinking about that girl like that to know what's what. I only know shit that I'm told. You dig what I'm saying? Like come on now. I don't know. I just feel like shit. I just feel like shit. I don't know. I don't know how I feel, man. I feel some type of way. Like this man tried to really kill me. And some whole female shit, though. When you could have just stood outside with your sister while she gave me the fair one. Simple as that. I know the bitch got wild brothers, but I didn't know what brother is which, just his name, no, I'm not on it like that. I'm not in their business like that. I don't care that much to even know what they got going on, who is who, none of that. That's not none of my business. You dig what I'm saying? Like, for real, I come on now. You that mad over a dude that you lied to your family and told your family that we shot up your house and I was in while your kids was there, and I brung a whole bunch of niggas to your house while your kids was there? Come on now. And you the one that came to my house with the... Come on now. Never not once did she ever come to our house ever before. You know you not allowed over here. You don't pick her up or drop her off over here, motherfucker. You did that shit. All that shit she did, it was being funny because she felt as though she could do that. Because motherfuckers just let motherfuckers get away with any motherfucking thing. And instead of speaking on shit, you think I'm trying to... You listening to this bitch tell you that I run your life. Because because if you speak up to her, now I run your life. If you speak on something, I run your life. Even if I don't say something, I run your life. So he feels some type of way about that. So that's why he don't ever say shit to the bitch about nothing. Because she gonna say, it's just mad kid shit. It's mad kid shit. And somebody tried to kill me over some kid shit. Over some shit that Ben could have... Over some shit that could have been avoided if she would have just gave me a fair one. We could have been far. This girl been harassing me since last July. Come on now, and I've been letting y'all. I'm just mad angry, y'all. Hey you all, welcome back to my channel. Keep in mind my readings here on YouTube, they are general, so they may or may not resonate with you. And if they don't resonate, maybe in my next upload there will be some messages for you. Okay? Keep in mind you may have to flip-flop roles, whatever you need to do. Just make sure you use your discernment when you're listening to anyone's reading, okay? I hope you all are well in great spirits, and we're gonna go ahead and tap into the energy. So, this video will be a little different, but first and foremost, I just want to say everyone has their own eyes, their own thoughts, their own opinions, their own world, their own skin, their own body, their own beliefs, and their own ways of doing things. What's best for everyone is not always what's best for you. What works for me may not work for you, and that's okay. I could see the number 6, you could see the number 9. Who's to say I'm wrong? Who's to say you're wrong? Maybe we're both right. It's amazing to see as I get ready to like really completely close out, this chapter and go into a new chapter that I've always been the same. You see, my heart, the love that I have to give, the purity, the generosity, that never changes. But I grow through changes. No matter what, my heart always stay the same. Everything that I do it out of love. No matter what, no matter if it's tough love or I'm showering you with love. Even if I'm giving you no love at all, that's still out of love. That's out of the love that I once had for you at a point of time. I'm a lover and I'm a fighter, and I'll always fight for what I love. You see, I realized I had to stop fighting so hard to love everybody and love myself even harder than I was fighting to love on everybody. And sometimes that's the hardest fight to fight. You against the younger versions of you. It's like once you stop fighting it, all of your younger selves and your higher self and your 3D self all become one. Once that happens, you can do so many things, magical things, because that's one of the hardest things to do. So once you unlock that, it's nothing you cannot do. Some people leave the realm without even being able to do so. Some of you may watch the video. Some of you may watch this video and you may know me from where I grew up. Some of you met me in my adult life. Some of you may just have met me recently, and I thank you for being here watching my video. This video will be a little different than usual. Spirit gave me another early birthday gift, and I wanted to share it with all of you. This video, I will be showing all of you facts and proof on how I've been solving my own case with the help from spirit using my psychic and using my psychic abilities. Okay, this is a major release for me because for a long time I didn't have all the facts to prove what I was saying. A lot of people thought I was crazy and delusional, and that I thought, everybody was out to get me, and people thought some of the worst things about me, in regards to this situation happening. And the saddest part is they would never say it. And the craziest part about it is because I had to sit there and take it, because I heard it. I heard every thought, no matter the distance. I'm so connected that I couldn't help but to hear it. And I couldn't say anything because it was spirit teaching me valuable lessons that I still needed to learn about myself. So I couldn't even be mad about it. I just had to heal about it and move forward. I'm glad I can finally release this and just get this all off my chest and put the whole situation to rest and really tell it like it is. Like, really show y'all what it really was. Like, what the experience was really like. And the funniest part to me is that I was never wrong. I was never lying about any of it. And people slander my name, but now I have straight facts that we all can see with our own eyes and hear with our own ears. Facts and energy never lie. So when you get in these readings, please really pay attention, because we only want to do what we are called to do. And that's simply delivering the messages you need to hear about the energy surrounding you and the energy you're in, the energy you're exchanging energy with. Not everybody is real, right? So you gotta choose your battles wisely. But through your journey, you will definitely learn to discern who and what is not for you. But let's go ahead and get to it. So please feel free to pause this video as needed to, read things clearly with your own eyes, whatever the case may be. Okay? So, when it came to solving my own case, I had to go backwards, I had to go all the way backwards in order to move forward. So, and this was not overnight. This has been over the past 3 years. Okay? So, let's just go ahead and tap in. Okay? So, I found out my ex had cheated in 2018 with this girl he was sneaking in our home. We were together for 9 years. At this time, it was maybe 7 years for us. We broke up and I went my separate ways. Him, Darnell, and the girl Jade were in a relationship and she got pregnant. Darnell was sneaking Jay in my home for a while, but I didn't find out until after we broke up. You see, I was working a lot, and I never been like the party type of person or out and about type of person. I always found pleasure in partying or having a good time in my home or the people closest to me. You know, I'll go to their homes. So I wouldn't have known, you know. I had a big house, upstairs, downstairs, backyard, 3 or 4 bedrooms, a nice foundation to build on. I manifested it unconsciously, and he ended up choosing to sneak and cheat. So it's like February 2019. I knew he was cheating, but I didn't know with who or what. I didn't know who or whatever. I didn't like search through his phone and all of that at this point in our relationship. I just knew. So for like 2 weeks, I had stopped conversing with him. We was in the same house, but I didn't say one word to him for that whole 2 weeks, and just interacted with my stepson at the time and his company he had over. In his company that he had over with him, as well as, you know, Darnell's mother. I just wasn't talking to him. So we got into a big argument one day because I wasn't talking to him. He put his hands on me. He put his hands on me, threw me outside in the snow with no shoes on, shorts and a crop top, in front of all the children that was there. I had a black eye. I ran next door to my uncle's house. He wasn't there. His girl was there. I begged her not to call the police, and I stressed to her that I just needed to stay there until I could get a ride, and that the police always take me to jail no matter what happens. My mom was also on the phone begging her, stressing to her not to call the police because they always take me to jail. But she was determined to call though. She just knew without a doubt that when they saw like what he did to my eye, they would take him to jail. But sure enough, they came and went to my house first, because as soon as Darnell threw me out my own house in the snow, he then called the police automatically and told them I did whatever he told them I did. I wasn't there, so I don't know. I was next door. So then they come and they see me, and my mom is on the phone at the time. My uncle's girlfriend was telling them what happened. Long story short, everyone was pissed because I walked out of the house in handcuffs. They saw my eye, they saw everything, even the fact that he had nothing wrong with him, and even his size compared to mine it was no way they could have believed him. They didn't, but they said he called first. They took me to jail. I see Jay. Now, I don't know at this time she's the girl Darnell was cheating with at the time. She's in jail with her friend, saying that, you know, they was riding around with some dudes, and the dudes had drugs and stuff in the car, and nobody claimed it. So she went to jail, but her kids was at home by themselves. And she was dealing with CPS, etc. prior to her being in jail. CJ knew who I was the whole time. She has always been obsessed with me and my energy. I only remember Jay from drill. When I used to drill when I was younger, she came to drill for my drill team, but she didn't stay long. That's how I knew her. So that's how I ended up engaging and conversing with her, by knowing her from drill, remembering her from drill. I ended up telling her why I was in jail, etc. Darnell ended up bailing me out, and I ended up getting out. But of course, as usual, I had a stay away order of protection from my own home. So I couldn't go home, and I had charges that New York State CNA registry would pick up, so I couldn't work. At this time, I was so tired of the bullshit. I didn't even, excuse my language, I didn't even tell anyone I was in jail but my mom. I didn't even want to get out of jail, to be honest. Like, funny to say, it was like a little vacation for me. I couldn't believe he did what he did, knowing that I knew he was cheating. At this time, I was with Darnell. I didn't do readings or get them, rather. I was searching. I wasn't searching for it either, like going through his phone or none of that. I just used to know things sometimes, and I didn't get why. I always found out the truth. But back on topic, mind you, I already have a case from maybe a few weeks prior. He called the police and told them I threw hot grease on him with no burns on him, and because we argued before I left for work, they took me to jail that time too. All I had did was punch my mirror and it broke. Darnell was mentally and emotionally abusive all the time, but physically abusive when he felt like it. Not often, but he'd take it there if he felt like it. I've never stabbed him, but he is scared of knives. So when we would argue, I knew that sometimes he get physical. So I would grab a knife to protect myself because I knew he wouldn't get even close to me to even physically touch me if I had a knife in my hand. I never tried to stab him, nor have I ever stabbed him. In my head, I always was just protecting myself. But at the time, I didn't do none of that. We had a exchange of words, we argued, and I was like, he be going in, like saying real hurtful stuff. So I just had punched the mirror, you know what I'm saying, and I left. So when the police came, they saw the broken mirror, and that was probable cause for them to believe whatever he said, and they took me to jail. So I was already fighting that case. That's also another reason why they took me when my eye was bruised, because technically, whether his name was on the lease or not, the judge said I couldn't be there, and I was there, and he called them. But the judges also knew my face, because this is something he always did our whole relationship. Put me in jail, bail me out, never come to court. Next thing you know, now, the first incident happened when I broke the mirror. I get out. The next incident happened. The next incident happened, and in between both of the incidents is what I'm trying to say. Darnell ends up going to jail. Everyone's calling me to get him out of trouble, kinda, call a lawyer, show up to court for him, things like that. So even after him putting me in jail, in between the second time, the first time before he put me in jail, the second time, in this time frame of 2018 to 2019 type of time frame. 2017 to 2018 time frame. So in between that time frame, Darnell ends up going to jail. Everyone calling me to get him out or whatever, to see what's going on. I always showed up, call his lawyer, show up at court, So even after the incident, no matter what, I always was there for Darnell. That's the type of person I am. That's the type of person I was. No matter what we go through, I'll always be there, So I went. He eventually gets out, but before he does, I go to visit him. And spirit is still revealing things to me at this time, but this is all unconsciously because at this time I am not doing readings and stuff. I am not as close to spirit as I was. I didn't know I was as close to spirit like I am now. I didn't even know I was able to even. I didn't know what was that was spirit showing me. That's what I'm trying to say. So when I get to the holding center, this is after I get out of jail. I get bailed out after I talk to Jade in the jail, and I still don't know that this is the girl that I got a feeling D is cheating on me with somebody, but spirit is constantly putting her in my face is basically what I'm saying. But unbeknownst to me, I don't even know. She knew the whole time though who I was, that I was like, she knew that she was dealing with my man type stuff. So when I get to the holding center, I see Jade. She going in on a visit too. We both going through the scanners. They have the metal detectors. They have the cyanide, etc. We speak to each other. She like, hey girl. I'm like, hey, what's up? That's crazy. That you here. But I still don't know the situation that's going on behind the scenes. So we speak at this time. I thought coincidences were a thing, but spirit was showing me otherwise. She still knew who I was. I didn't know she was messing with Darnell still though. So she sits down and then jumps up like, OMG, I left my ID, and she left. And it was weird to me because I'm thinking like, didn't she just have to show them the ID to get through the door, to even be able to get scanned in and sign her name for the visit? But me, I mind the business that pays me, of course. They call my name, I go in on my visit. I have my visit. A few days later, he have court, he get out. Later down the line, when we broke up due to him throwing me outside, which is the first incident, and I saw Jay, I ended up seeing Jay run out of my house while I was sitting outside when my landlord was waiting for the police to come so I could get my clothes. Months later, she starts messaging me. I'm dating and vibing with someone, I met while me and Darnell was separated. Not even thinking of her or him, to be honest. I'm on a whole different side of town than these people and everything. It was what it was. And then, as I'm standing outside with my landlord and her husband, I'm watching her run out my house, and it's like, oh shit, this girl really been talking to me this whole time, and I'm sitting here and just got a feeling he cheating on me. And the whole time he been sneaking her in my home, and that's why we ended up in jail together. It's like spirit was revealing her to me the whole time. So the epiphany started to hit like crazy. Like, wow, the whole time I keep seeing this girl everywhere because she is in my energy. He was sexually transferring my energy from me to her, transferring her energy from her to me. That's why you gotta be careful who you deal with, because not everybody is loyal or able to even be loyal. You gotta be careful who you exchange your good old sexual energy with, because sometimes your energy could be so different that the third party can become so obsessive of having the energy that you possess, you know, that they'll do anything to get it. The whole time, Spirit was placing her in front of me, telling me something, but I wasn't listening. So now I'm homeless, just paid rent, can't work. I ended up staying with Darnell's brother, Keys, and his girl, Monty. His girl was my best friend, so I ended up moving, like completely on, like from Darnell. Like I'm not caring about the house. It is what it is. I got all my clothes. I move all my, like I got the clothes he gave me, because he didn't even let me go in and grab my clothes. He packed my stuff and put my stuff out my own house, literally. And I drove off, and that was that. So it's like, I used to give him a million chances, but once I was done, I was done. And he wouldn't hear from me, see me, no nothing. I never been a pressed, obsessive type of girlfriend. I always knew that if he didn't appreciate me, someone would, because I know what I bring to the table. So here it is. Summertime, I'm vibing, doing me. I couldn't work. So I was playing in the underworld, hustling, trying to build off the $40 I had to my name. So I got to double up and ended up busting moves. This is when you'll see in the photos Jay messaging me after sending me a friend request on Facebook. Darnell told me that he told her to send the friend request and to say what she said when I asked her why is she sending me a friend request. And so I guess she did, but he told me this later on down the line after the fact. You see, Jay didn't know how it was with me and Darnell. She was in unknown territory when it came to our situation. All she knew was whatever he said to her and whatever she imagined the future for them to be. Me and everyone else knew this was the cycle with me and Darnell, that eventually we would get back together. I was really baffled, because I always thought that since Darnell staged this whole situation just so him and Jay could live in my house, because they were definitely living there. After I left, they got evicted for unpaid rent. The landlord was pissed because his name wasn't even on the lease. And she saw what I was saying, like, wow, this man really doing this? Like, she was mind blown. I was too. But yeah, he really was. But you know, since they stole my home and I was fighting the cases, and being that she was in my face the whole time, I felt I should be the one messaging her or bothering her or saying something to her, stalking her, obsessing over her and Darnell. But she was doing that to me. She used to always make statuses about me, all type of stuff. So I don't know. I wasn't pressed at all to be on her body. In my eyes, he cheated. He did me wrong. My issue was with him, never with her. But everybody ain't like that. So in some of the photos, you'll also see Darnell and her go from dating to not dating in a few months. You know, I'm still dealing with who I'm dealing with at the time, so they still weren't any of my concern. She get pregnant, but she cheated, and her child's father prior to Darnell, his name is Drew, I think. Last I knew, it was like Chino Bangs on Facebook or something like that. But she cheated on Darnell with him, and she didn't so she didn't know who the child's father was. She she didn't have custody of that child that they had together. I'm guessing to the situation when she left her kids home and was riding with drugs when I saw her in jail. Everyone in Buffalo knew Jay to be like a bad mom. And I don't know, she wanted to tell me herself she was pregnant. I have already knew that she cheated on Darnell with her BD and they broke up because she didn't know who her baby father was. But she didn't know who. She didn't know that I knew, you know. She wanted to know if I knew. It also didn't help that Darnell and the baby father look identical to each other. Darnell was always nervous about her BD because he killed mad people and mad trigger happy. Once they got evicted out of the house that was in my name, they went back to her mom's house. I think they only got to stay there for like the rest of that month, or you know, like a 30-day eviction process or something like that. But so being that they like got evicted, they had to go back to her mom's house or whatever. So being that they lived at her mom's house and the other BD had to come and drop, you know, the son that they had together off for visits with Jay, he said he used to be uncomfortable. Jay's house had got shot up also, and I guess it was bullet holes in the house or windows from when her brother was still alive. Darnell was on probation, so that wasn't a bad, so that was like a bad look. Later on, as you could see in the photos, me and Darnell get back together. He get parole, he get probation to the house or whatever that we lived at. April of like 2019, the baby is born. Darnell goes to the hospital. He falls in love with the baby. He refused to sign the birth certificate. I believe he was too nervous to do a DNA test after already falling in love with the baby. I don't know. That's just my assumption. But so of course his children were always like my children. I knew she was pregnant. I knew the possibility of the baby being his. So shit, I fell in love with the baby too. Some people never understood how I could. So blindly not looking at the fact that I was adopted by a great woman who loves me unconditionally. I knew a love that not a lot of people know. At least not some of the people I was around. The baby is born and she is loaded with stuff at her house. Food, clothes, cribs, chairs, all type of stuff. October approaches and the baby had a doctor's appointment. And Darnell always been like, I think it was 2020 when the baby was born. Was it 2020? I think it was 2020 when the baby was born. Yeah, it was 2020 when the baby was born. April of 2020. So the baby was born April of 2020. She loaded with stuff. October approaches and the baby had a doctor's appointment. And Darnell always been like this. Like, he wanted me to come to the appointment with him. It's been times I had to like rush his son to the hospital due to his asthma. You know, so at this time though, Darnell is maybe 5 or 6. We were together before Darnell was born and broken up when he was conceived. So the same we was with his son, that's how we was with the baby. His son's mom stay on her shit no matter what. and she mad, like she real active in her son's life, as she should be, and she always knew in her heart, no matter what, like her son was good when he came to my home or whatever, She was older than me and D, and we had our hiccups in the road, but for the most part, it was very stable and consistent when it came to the stability as far as him and his son. Darnell's mother gave me the nickname Baby Girl. So that's what Darnell's son called me, Baby Girl. As he started to grow up and learn to talk, everyone that heard him say it thought it was so cute. So everyone kind of started to call me Baby Girl. It wasn't perfect, but it worked for all of us, Jade wasn't mature like Darnell's first child's mother. She wasn't mature. She wanted drama and to have like this beef with me so bad that she couldn't see the beauty in the situation, even if she wanted to. She felt defeated, and she really became obsessed with me. Honestly, I don't even think she wanted him. She had a lot going on with her. I don't even think she wanted him. I think she wanted to take him from me, or she wanted to be me or something. I don't know what's up with her, but she had a lot going on with her kids that she already had. Just had a baby, cheated, got broken up with, of course. Darnell did all he did to me and said all he said to her just for us to get back together. So now she feel played, she feel stupid, whatever the case may be. I've always been somebody that's going to look at something from someone else's point of view. I'm always going to be like that. So she felt stupid. So she was bothered by the fact that no matter what me and D went through, we had a bond that a lot of people may have wanted from the outside looking in. She also knew that what me and him had, she couldn't have him like that. I put in work to build and to create the things that we created together. We were a great team despite the bad that occurred when we were intermixing our worlds. She was pure example of thinking that a baby would keep someone instead of trying, instead of her doing all the things that she did and, cursing my womb, trying to curse my womb, because spirit ain't trying to let me, rear off this narrow and fragile path that I'm on. Like, I used to be telling her, like, girl, I'm like 23 years old. Can I build something first before I just be popping babies out? Can I get my stuff together first? Like, everybody think you supposed to just be popping babies out young as ever. I always have manifested that. I'm different. I'm not like y'all. I'm different. What works for y'all never worked for me. And that's what I needed people to understand. But looking back, would you have wanted to have a child with someone that ended up playing a part in an attempt to murder you? Let me chill. I'm gonna get to that. But because Darnell had a lot of money, he was mad fly, and whatever history that they created together, she thought that her having a child would put her in my shoes when it came to him. She used to throw in his face that he listens to me, or try to throw in his face that I run him, because Darnell couldn't get shit past me trying to lie, and I always wanted the best for him. I'm the reason Darnell has had his first job ever. And, we both helped each other grow in so many different ways. Darnell took really good care of me, people saw that and they wanted that, but they didn't know the hard times it came with. What they didn't see is that what I lacked, Darnell had, and what he lacked, I had. That's what made us a great team. But us not knowing how to love each other or be gentle and not get so emotional at times is what got in the way of Darnell and I having a future. Darnell and I never had a future beyond the point of where we left off, because Darnell couldn't love me the way I should be loved, because he can't. Darnell will never be able to admit it, but I've always known that Darnell may have had some experiences, and those experiences caused him to contradict his sexuality. We had arguments over him being and like texting, inverts or beings of the same sex as him. So I just had to grow to accept that from within, and it took time, even once I knew or like realized, no matter the lies or him denying what I see with my own eyes in his phone, it's like I had to grow to accept that. Anyhow, I finally got Darnell to stop hustling, and he was seeing how spirit was coming through for us. We was in great spirits, eating good, living good. We had really good jobs at the time. We had a nice home. We had extra bedrooms. We had extra rooms. The baby had a room. His son had a room. And we even had an extra room if someone needed a place to stay. Everything was really stable for the most part. And then COVID hit. This is when COVID been was COVID, but they weren't. This is when they.
Oh, in this area, you said 19. This area. You hear her?
What?
It's 19 cases in this zip code.
Oh,
girl.
And what zip code? This one? 14213?
14201.
Oh. Ooh.
And COVID been was COVID, but they weren't. This is when they started locking everything down. I was still working because I was a CNA, but his job had closed because it was a restaurant. So it triggered him to start back to start back hustling. He was always in survival mode, so him not working triggered him to want to start back hustling. I was working so hard to keep him out the streets. So I was looking on Indeed, he was looking on Indeed, weeks go by, nothing really coming in for him. Although he was triggered, he was still not hustling, and for that I was grateful. I wanted the best for us, so at this point, we started getting those stimulus, and he was getting the unemployment, so that was super good. It came right on time, and he was so happy. So he was so happy because he really kept his word. He didn't go back hustling, and something good really came through for him. So hustling was like his addiction. All his life, that's how he had to survive. He was a fighter. He wasn't a fighter or a gangbanger. He was a money, he get money. You got certain type of individuals. Not everybody could have all the women. Not everybody could have all the money. Not everybody could have. You gotta pick and choose. And that's what he chose, money. Especially when you live in that type of lifestyle, you have to choose. You can't be everything because you just a walking target. You gotta pick and choose. So that was like his addiction, money. he always had to have more. So it was a beautiful experience at the time to see how he was able to see, like spirit coming through. We had also talked at some point before the COVID situation when everything got locked down in the head, and I was telling him that if he started back hustling, that I don't think that we could be together anymore, because it comes with too much drama and cheating and babies and just too much that I wasn't trying to keep repeating. I started to yearn for more, and I wanted more for not just me but for us. We were doing us. Everything closed down, so we saving and investing, selling dinners, having a lot of family time, doing birthdays, got extra time, so me and the kids doing arts and crafts at the house, and everyone always came over to our homes no matter where we live. And I mean that as far as like family visiting and coming over. It wasn't like a party house, but family vibes, eat together, chill together, laugh together, everybody go home. I always cook big meals, so we will always have family come over, eat dinner, whatever, and visit. Maybe have a few drinks while the kids run around and get chocolate and apple juice wasted. Darnell's son used to love it too, because he was the only child for a while on both sides of his family, so it used to be fun for him to be with all of his cousins on his dad's side. And some of his cousins on his dad's side is his cousins on his mom's side. So he used to love when they will all be over, So at this point, Darnell and Jay barely can have a conversation. He won't talk to her. She keep writing me. And the thing is, whether someone I'm with has 10 children and I have none, if I'm with you, that's what I signed up for. I am completely aware of it. And you are going to be a father, period, first. And a damn good father at that. I don't care. I used to tell him all the time, please tell Jay to stop writing me. Please tell Jay to stop contacting me, to contact you. She used to contact me. I used to ask Jay, stop contacting me, please contact him. I don't want to be in the middle. Just, I never dealt with that with Darnell's first child's mother. They call about it. Where you at? I'm outside. Okay, what's up? It's simple. It's simple. Alright, so I used to tell him, please tell her to stop contacting me. Tell her to stop writing me. Tell her to, contact you. So, I've been telling her to leave me alone, period, since she first sent me the first the friend request. Before the baby was even born. But since the baby came along, and the baby is more important than any of our individual opinions for the sake of the baby, me and Jay's mom used to do pickups and drop-offs. Jay was never allowed to come to our home, but she knew where we lived because she would have someone drop the baby off. I never wanted her at my house because of the energy she possessed. She used to always hit me up with drama or some he say, she say stuff. So I stressed to him to keep her at a distance from me, at least my home, that's the only thing I asked of him when dealing with her, to keep that away from me, all that toxic stuff, because he knows my body. But majority of the time, I would drop the baby off and pick the baby up at her mom's house, because that's what she lived with. Sometimes Jay would be there, sometimes she wouldn't. We had 2 cars. Transportation was finally not an issue for me. And Darnell, we literally took cabs everywhere for years, or paid for rides, So, okay, so before we go forward, we gotta go back a little bit again. During the time when we broke up before Jay got pregnant, when she was pregnant, I ended up seeing my little brother Kenny, which is my dad's son. He was with Darnell's little cousin Kayla. My brother and I met in 2016, but I knew Kayla since I knew Darnell, since me and Darnell started going together. So it was mind blowing that me and Darnell broke up and I see her with my little brother that I rarely see that often these days with Kayla, Darnell's little cousin. I was homeless due to the two-court situation, so I didn't have a home for my little brother to come over to like he was since I met him. But the fact that they were saying they were dating, I couldn't believe it at this time. I don't have a home, but I had access to my people's cars. So I would spend a little time with them in traffic, maybe smoke a blunt or two with them and then breeze off, go about my way or my day. So when we got the new home, they used to come over so much that eventually they ended up staying there, you could say. Summer comes, my birthday passes, Darnell's birthday passes. Darnell's son's birthday is approaching in the next few months ahead. So at this time, the energy is shifting. So it's like the end of summer and I'm home. I get a call from him to rush and go pick the baby up from Jade's friend house. I think he told me to go to the Langfield Projects in Buffalo and that the baby might need to go to the hospital. So no questions asked. I jumped up, got dressed, went to get her, and did just that. She was fine, but she was sick, and Jay had dropped her off there for a couple days and wasn't answering the phone for the friend. Me and Darnell was at this point where we started to go in a spiral. He started to stress about money. He was thinking about hustling. We were arguing about that. He was trying to do unemployment scams. I wasn't with it, but despite our differences in my eyes, we were a team. And I put a lot of my feelings and emotions to the side because things I felt were more important at that time. We weren't at each other necks. We were just realizing we weren't on the same page and we didn't have the same vision anymore at this time. He was seeing things different. Money was always the blockage between me and him. His obsession with money at the time was getting in the way of us, and it wasn't the best relationship. I was tired of being that third wheel, so I got the baby. So back to the story. I got the baby, and she came to the house with us. I believe she may have went home for a day or two, and he asked me to pick her back up, so I did. It's like October 8th. The baby had a doctor's appointment. The next day, like I said, she asked me, the baby had a doctor's appointment. Like I said in the beginning, he asked me to come to the doctor's appointment. I didn't just intrude or invite myself along. He didn't want to go by himself, obviously. It's nothing wrong with that, That's what I'm thinking. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I could go with you, I was supposed to work, but I knew he wouldn't have went if I didn't go. So I called off and I went with him. The doctors came and the baby is fine, but said to him that the baby missed her last few appointments. So he was mad about that. I was quiet as a mouse. Jay asked him how much did the baby weigh, and he was telling her about herself because she ain't been taking the baby to her appointments. And when she asked him how much the baby weighed, he forgot. So he was like, how much the baby weigh? And I tried to quietly say it. Not that I was sneaking, but I know her energy, and I just knew how she was gonna go. So she started going off on him. Literally, I can't make none of this up. So he hang up, we leave, she is pissed. So she's telling him he won't ever see her again because I was at the doctor's. I just ignored it all and just went to drop the baby off to Jay's mom's house as he asked me to do, like she demanded him to do. So I do just that. I go to drop the baby off. She was mad that I was at the appointment, but when I went to drop the baby off, no one answered the door. You know, she was mad that I was at the appointment, but ignored the fact that he said the doctor asked why she missed her prior appointment.
You shouldn't.
I get to her mom's house and I'm knocking, inboxing, no reply, calling, no answer. No one came to the door. It's around November, and now Darnell make a status on Facebook. If anyone CJ, tell her to hit me up about her daughter. He texting and calling her, no answer, no reply. I went to the house October 2nd. We in November now, and Darnell can't get in contact with her. He ended up seeing her out while he was driving. Still nothing was said. So Thanksgiving comes and we still have the baby, and we put the Christmas tree up, and we, doing regular stuff. Like, the show still goes on. I cooked a real big meal. Thanksgiving came, we all ate. It was like the Last Supper, spiritually.
That's so good.
Still no nothing from Jay though. December 1st comes, she unboxes me. See, the thing is, Jay knew I had a quick temper, and that I was so annoyed with her always contacting me with drama, that from before the baby even came along, that I don't like to keep sitting here going back and forth for no reason. And she loved to talk to me or something. I don't know. It's like, I used to just be like, just fight me and get it over with, How I grew up, we gonna put them gloves on and either slap up after we fight or keep it pushing. Either way, we gonna shoot them 60s, period. Like, that's just what it was. But she wasn't cut from the same cloth I was cut from. So, she constantly contacted me, knowing I'm going to go off. And at that time, I wasn't all the way right and as close with spirit. So I used to let my temper control me or get to me. Sometimes I swing on somebody before they could even say anything. My patience used to be thin. So it's December 1st and she inboxing me, drop her daughter off. But it was like 11 at night. I'm like, bro, you have no morals. Who's coming outside at 11 at night with a baby? The next day comes and Darnell leaves out to go over his cousin's house as normal. It's now December 2nd, 2020. I'm at home with Kayla and the baby. Now, first he tell me to drop the baby off and whatnot.
Baby.
So I'm like, okay. I get dressed.
You gonna show your pretty smile?
I get dressed, get the baby dressed. Kayla getting
show your pretty
dressed.
smile?
We literally about to walk out the door, and he calls me and tell me saying, don't drop the baby off, because Jay told him that if I come to her house, her people's gonna leave me dead at the door, because he said her boyfriend or her baby father was there. He said he didn't know if it was her BD was actually there, or if her boyfriend was there, or if this white dude that be with Jade and her brothers was there. He told me the white boy is like one of the shooters for the family or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I didn't take her. So now here she is inboxing me saying drop the baby off. So you'll see me keep saying it's him. He's saying not to drop her off. So, we going back and forth now. And she's saying she on her way to my home, which is definitely making me feel violated, because Never not once did she come to my house peacefully. So coming to my house with this type of energy, heck no. My landlord lived downstairs, so any drama, I'm not really trying to have that. Not where I lay my head. Hell no. She comes to my home, stab my tire with the same knife she was trying to stab me with. As she calling the police and reporting that the baby has been kidnapped. The whole time I have cameras and my windows are open, so I hear her literally saying the baby has been kidnapped. So now I'm like, fuck. I'm calling Darnell, telling him he need to get here because he need to handle this. I'm like, this is your daughter, and she's sitting here talking about somebody kidnapping her child, and you're not here. So I'm not related to this child. You telling me not to give her the baby, and her telling the police that I'm trying to kidnap the baby, and me always going to jail every time the police is called. It all wasn't mixing. So Darnell was, on the phone. I'm telling him, you need to come here and handle this because this is about to go left. Like, this is not good. Darnell was on probation, so he wasn't coming. He was with his friend, and I was on speaker phone telling him everything, because not only did she call the police when she got there, she came with dudes, and she came with female too. So he was with his friend, and I was on speakerphone. His friend was so mad because he like, bro, you're not gonna go help your girl, bro? Like, they bring females and niggas to your ninjas to your girl house. His friend always came over to my home, and if I cooked, I always made sure he ate, etc. So his friend was like, damn, bro, that's messed up. And they just kept saying, I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm on paper. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Let me just go down there. Because if I wait for the police, they come in thinking this baby is kidnapped. They asking questions later, So me and Kayla go downstairs. I hand the baby to Kayla, and I feel some type of way because all these people was at my house. Like, somebody was really trying to kidnap her child when she knows she neglected her child for a few months. So I'm asking Jay, like, why you coming to my house lying, saying somebody kidnapped your baby? Like, you a bad mother and you know that. I'm telling her everything I was saying, my messages to her face, basically. She say to meet her on Roslyn, so I'm like, okay, I'll be on my way. I'm going to grab my keys. She knew I wasn't going to be able to move because she knew she stabbed my tires. I didn't know my tire was stabbed yet. As I'm turning to walk to grab my keys, which weren't even in the house because they were in the baby's bag from me rushing and being caught off guard, that she really called the police and said it was a kidnapping. She runs up with a knife. So I'm fighting her. So as I'm fighting her back, trying to turn around, she started stabbing me, but the knife wasn't going in my skin. The girl she was with, Letitia, ran up because Kayla saw that Jay was stabbing me with a knife, and she jumped in. But pay attention, because now is where it gets real. So Letitia jumps in, and when she jumps in, Jay jumps off the porch. She tried stabbing me, but she ended up cutting herself. She drops the knife and leaves the knife on the porch along with her scarf. I don't see any of this. But being that she called the police and said it was a kidnapping, the police were already on their way. So when they came, of course, my landlords gave them the video and told them what happened. My landlord also told them it wasn't a kidnapping, that was my stepchild, and that I had the baby for a while because she see me every day. She lived downstairs. And me and her talked from time to time. She even gave us some stuff for the baby when the baby first was born. Darnell never really came. Darnell really never came. No, nothing. Like, all of it could have been avoided if he would have just came to give her child or drop the baby off to her himself. Especially if she told him for me not to come because her people was gonna leave me dead outside if I come to her. Dead at the door. If I did come to her home, if he felt they were serious, that's just what I think to myself. Like I just think to myself, like, they said that about me for whatever reason. Not you, it's your child. I wasn't there when the police finally came, so my landlord gave me the detective's car. I was in a different car because I noticed my tire was flat from her stabbing me. My whole thing was for her to come outside because why won't you fight? You that scared of little old me. So she never come outside. I get home and Kayla with me the whole time. Now Jalika's my friend from grammar school and high school. She was with us too. It was literally females in the car. Jay lies to her peoples and Darnell and told them I came to her house with mad niggas and that they shot up her house while her kids was there. But mind you, it's already bullets in her house from when people were driving by trying to kill her brother that ended up passing away. But he passed away around the time that she had the baby. So were the bullet holes there? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I never paid attention to all of that. I just used to drop the baby off or pick the baby up prior to the situation. It was all females in the car. It was no niggas shooting. No one was shooting. Y'all see the messages. She never came outside. But she literally lied and said that. And so I end up going home. Darnell is home. So I don't say nothing to him. As I'm getting myself comfortable and ready to shower, that man really said to me, his exact words was, "Now why would you go over to that girl house and shoot her house up? And what nigga giving you a gun or shooting for you? Or shooting her house up for you?" I said, "What, Darnell?" I was telling that girl to come outside to fight me. It wasn't no dudes. Nobody was shooting, no nothing. I said I wanted to fight. I said she came to my home lying about the baby being kidnapped, stabbing me and shit. Anybody gonna be mad wanting to fight? I said, why would I said, she should be thanking me. She disappeared for months and her baby is in great condition, eating every day, well and in great spirit, I thought Jay was going through postpartum or something since she just had the baby when she disappeared. So despite how many people was telling me to call CPS on her and shit, I didn't. Although I did tell her when we was going back and forth when she came to my home that I was going to call them on her, I never did. And I'm no saint in all of this either. I'm not so happy about some of the things that I said because it's embarrassing to even look back at how I was like so aggravated and annoyed by that girl. It's so embarrassing to even be so to even let somebody get the best to get my energy out of me like that, So so I don't know. I just felt like the least she could have done was said thank you. The next day comes and Darnell leaves. I'm still livid at this point, so I don't have anything to say to him. The mail runs. He is gone, and someone mail comes to my house. I asked my landlord if the mail was a tenant's prior. She said no. So I took the name. I took the name off of the mail, and I placed it in my Facebook search, and the girl pops up with this name. Kayla was like, I know her. And I'm like, how you know her? She like, that's my cousin on my mom's side. So I'm like, why she got mail here though? I said, Darnell know her? Kayla said, I don't know. So I'm scrolling her Facebook, and guess what? This is someone Darnell is cheating on me with. The girl was like 19 years old, and she sent me screenshots of their messages, etc. Because I inboxed her telling her her mail was at my home and how did it get there. And the whole time, Darnell was cheating on me with her to scam her out of her unemployment. Why was he so careless to send the mail to my home? I don't know. Maybe because I took him back so many times. He always found a new way to cheat or to go behind my back and sell his soul or something. And again, he sold his soul. He had this little girl thinking they were gonna get a home together, all type of stuff. I felt sorry for her. He was so mad. I sent the mail back to the post office, or I think I threw it out in the garbage or something, in the blue bins. Cause why would you send that mail to my house? Instantly, he thought like he was livid. He was so mad because he really thought that I was gonna sell my soul with him. Like he thought I was gonna just be like, oh okay, I didn't know that was the card for the money. I don't want that girl money. You know, I don't want nothing to do with that girl money. So he was so mad that I sent the mail back, or I threw the mail out, that he started going off, okay? He started trying to like convince me like, oh, I'm just using her for the money. My son's birthday is coming up and things of that nature. So he sold his soul. He knew damn well I was not ever going to go for no stuff like that. So at this point, it was a completed cycle for me. The cycle was complete. Me and Kayla went to Naj's house a little while after my tire is fixed. She with her friend Darniqua. Letitia is Najalik's cousin. But Jay and Letitia used to sleep with dudes together. That's what Jay wanted with me and Darnell. And she even tried to convince him before they stole my house to talk me into a threesome. He didn't tell me who the threesome would be with, but he asked me and I said, hell no. It always ends up messy. I'm an alpha female effortlessly. So anyone else is going to be intimidated by my energy. I love differently. So the bond that me and the person that I'm dealing with shares, somebody is going to feel some type of way, period. If everybody not vibrating at the same frequency, it won't work. And me personally, I don't share my significant other. I'm not the type to be inviting someone in the bedroom with me and my significant other. I manifest while I release. You know, I'm not just doing the grown-ups business for fun and games. This is real life. I'm real sacred when it comes to my sexual healing abilities. Not everyone can handle it, and not everyone should experience it. So Letitia and Angelique are cousins, but they ended up falling out in October. Letitia used to literally sit and tell Naj all J business. When me and D wasn't together, when we was together, it didn't matter. Letitia never was really Jay's real friend. So when I was there, me and Letitia never said 2 words to each other, because I'm not with the weird shit. Darniqua is not Jalique's friend. Me and Darniqua fought back in the day, but it was never no beef. We fought and that was that. We was never friends or cool. We just knew the same people. Darniqua was fucking with Jay baby father. That is before the baby with Darnell. Letitia and Jay, the same dude that Letitia and Jay used to have sex with together. So Letitia didn't like Darniqua, and that's why her and Naj fell out. So we all at the house talking about what happened with me and Jay and her trying to stab me. And so we hear a knock at the door. Me, Kayla, Jalique, and Darniqua and her little cousin go downstairs. When we get downstairs, nobody there, but it's a car outside, and their phone is connected to the car. So you can envision what I'm about to say. And say, for instance, someone is listening to music off of their phone, and the song has an interlude, like they're talking. Or imagine someone getting a call while on speaker or while connected to the car. So, and the volume being all the way up, so you can hear it profoundly, you know. But it's dudes, it's people outside, but my eye caught a car with dudes in it. They not looking our way, and there's multiple cars and there's multiple people outside, so you can't really tell which car it came from. But the phone connected to the car was saying, I swear to God, B, I'm gonna kill you when I see you. We all looking at each other like, what the fuck? You know, you heard that? But again, we don't see which car said it, or at least I don't see which car said it, or where it's coming from. So now we go back upstairs and we chilling. I end up leaving and going home with Kayla. Kayla is saying she going to the city and she was gonna pay someone to take her to the city from Facebook Rise page. So I tell her, like, you know what, I'll take you. I never been to New York City, and at this point I need a vacation. So we pack up and get ready to go. I'm telling her, like, don't tell nobody where I'm at. I'm telling everybody I'm at a whole different location than where I'm actually at. Kayla was the only person from Buffalo that knew where I was. So we in New York City for almost 2 weeks, and I keep extending the trip. But Kayla started getting aggravated to go home, real anxious. I asked her why she was so anxious to go home, and she started telling me how her cousin Chop be raping her and making her do things she don't want to do. And if she tell anybody or don't do what he say, he be saying he going to kill my little brother, and that he was going to expose her on Facebook for selling PUSSY. But everyone had already knew that Kayla moved that way because she posted about it. So I didn't understand why she was nervous. Not that she was being raped, but that she be busting certain moves, you know. So Kayla had forgot she was logged into my Facebook Messenger when she went back to her hotel room that night. After crying to me, telling me that Chop be raping her and stuff. So she was logged into my Facebook Messenger. Chop ended up messaging her. When he ended up messaging her, we had just went and got our nails done, and she literally cried her eyes out to my face like Chop was raping her, you know. So I'm so pissed. And then the fact that she go back to her room And she logged into my Facebook and she logged into her Facebook on my phone, and my phone go ding, and it's from Facebook, but it's from Chop, and it's her Facebook logged in. I'm pissed. She told me other things also, that everyone that used to be at Chop House be having orgies, doing shrooms, popping e-pills, doing coke with each other. She said that she had a threesome with Darnell's friend Duke, and that Duke and Chop used to be doing things to each other. She tried to say Darnell just used to sit there, but if all this was going on and he just sitting there and not uncomfortable, I knew she was lying. She just didn't want to put him in it because she ain't know if I would say something to him. But I was so disgusted from him talking to that girl, trying to use her for her money, and him not coming to handle his situation as that girl's child's father to begin with. So at this point, this was just the icing on the cake. So I didn't even have to say anything to him about it. But I was so disgusted that he allowed and sat around and let stuff go down like that. Everybody is related through blood. So that was insane to me, for everybody to be just having orgies with each other. Chop and Kayla were actually in a relationship. Little did I know. She was sending him pictures of her portal to Chop, playing with it, all type of stuff. And the message that came to my phone was him responding to her, sending the picture of her playing with her portal. Thank God he wrote her and she was logged in though, because I would have went to Buffalo going off on Chop and it was all consensual. And damn sure not worth my time. I was disgusted because she my little brother girlfriend. So now we heading home. It's the 20th of December and we packing up to go home. We driving all the way home. It took about 5 to 6 hours to get home. Kayla still doesn't know at this time that she was still logged into my phone. And I saw the messages from Chop. She didn't even know I knew she lied to my face. But we see the city of Buffalo sign. She say, I just got so depressed. I got aggravated and I'm like, yo, so why would you keep pressing me to go home if you just gonna be back on all this depressed type of energy? Because every other day Kayla was trying to kill herself. So I'm just annoyed and I'm just completely disgusted and annoyed and stressed and tired with everybody that was around me, okay? So I told Kayla, like, I might drop you off and come right back out here, or I'ma leave back out the next day as we were on our way home. I had made my mind up when I got back to Buffalo for sure that I was moving. I stopped to my house to use the bathroom and to see what I needed from Family Dollar. Kayla asked me before I left back out my home if I can pick up my brother from his mom's house and take her by her sister Ashley's house so she can drop some money off to her for her nieces and nephews' Christmas present. She said she was gonna pay me $50, so I told her yeah. We shop at Family Dollar, get all the stuff I needed for my cats and to clean my home so I can pack and move to the city. I pull up to her sister's street. It's only a few houses on the street, so I park where I always do every time. I picked Kayla up. I park between two houses because between the two houses it's a big field. Kayla takes her seatbelt off, texts her sister supposedly and tell her sister she outside. It's pitch black. It's around 8 o'clock, no later than 9:30 p.m. in December in Buffalo. So you know it's dark and it's snowing and it's a lot of snow on the ground. But it's weird because none of the Christmas lights that were normally on at her sister's house was on. It was pitch black. But I was only there for a couple seconds since I parked. So that didn't catch my eye at the time. She got out the car. 2 seconds later, my car is getting shot up. The first bullet went through the back window shield, but it sounded like someone threw a piece of change. So I turned my head, and when I turned my head, that saved me from that headshot attempt. And then the shooter emptied the clip. 14 bullet holes were in my front and back doors on the driver's side. I never turned my car off, but this day I did. So I was only able to lean over until the gun stopped shooting. The same car that was outside my house that Jay would people with Jay, it was a dude in the passenger seat and Jay was driving. When they came to my home. But that same car that was outside my house when she was stabbing me is the same car I remember seeing speed down Warren and made a right on Genesee after my car got shot up. We were the only cars on the street. But when they sped off, they thought I was dead. So I actually got to see the car speed off. Kayla thought I was dead too, because when she left the car and after they left, I called her phone, but she turned her phone off or blocked my number because I was just getting her voicemail. So I called my biological mother. She didn't answer either. Darnell texted me as soon as it happened, and I didn't even think to call him. But he texted me as soon as it happened, before I was even able to pull off, and said, "Damn, you gotta be more careful out here." So I replied, "Wow, so you really shot my car up?" I didn't have time to cry or to think about my emotions or feelings. So I called Kenny because I was supposed to be picking him up first. But Kayla told me to just go to her sister's house first because her and Kenny was going to spend the night at my house that night. But in all actuality, because they didn't have anywhere else to stay. But in all actuality, she didn't think I would be making it back to my house that night because she set me up. So I can't get anyone on the phone. So I'm just like, let me go ahead. I'm driving myself to the hospital, which isn't that far. I was bleeding. I didn't know if I was shot or not. As I'm pulling in the ECMC emergency ramp, the EMTs are driving out the ramp, but they stop and jump out the EMT truck, and they're waving, telling me to stop. They see my car shot up so bad, and the windows is shattering as I'm driving. I told them I'm bleeding and I don't know if I'm shot. So they patted me down, lifted my shirt, and I wasn't shot. Kenny called me back, but I'm with one of the EMTs, so the other EMT is talking to him. Him and his mom were supposed to be on the way, but when they pulled up to ECMC, Kayla was with them. So I was like, what the fuck? The doctors are refusing to see me urgently because I'm not shot. The ECMC police kept telling me I need to be grateful that I'm alive, but my mind was stuck in a 10-second time span. I could only say, but I need my car every 10 seconds. I just had bought my car, my first car, all to myself. My first car Darnell took from me because I bought the car, but it was in his name because he was the one who had his permit at the time, and he ended up taking that car from me. So this was my first car to myself, and he always argued and fought with me over the car. So, this was my first car. I couldn't believe this, and I worked hard, So, I needed my car. I was supposed to go back to the city. I needed my car. That's all my mind could think at that time. So I never got to make a report. See, Jay had family in the system. When Jay took my car keys that was in the baby bag, she stole my whole identity because the keychain was like a wallet keychain. So my credit cards, my ID, my social, everything was in my wallet. My mom tried reaching out to her and her mother, but her mother is petty too. And her and Jay both did coke. So they live for like this type of stuff. But Jay's mother hit my mom back saying her brother was the chief of police or like the lieutenant at one of the police districts in Buffalo. So me pressing charges for stolen identity, basically she was saying like Jay was gonna be good because she got family that got power and authority when it comes to the justice system. And she was right because the police never investigated my case. Confirmation. They took the footage the day of the stabbing, and as of right now, 2023, the courts don't see anything about a stabbing. They only have a report for grand larceny, which is actually grand larceny, attempted murder, and all of the above. A false police report, lying saying about a kidnapping, all type of stuff. And for the shooting, the police lied and said I told the police on the scene. I don't know what happened, but I was never investigated. I was never asked that. It's impossible because they never came and was never called. ECMC police has hospital police that I was telling I need my car, and he was just saying that, ma'am, you should be dead right now. I never spoke to the police. I never did none of that. I drove myself to the hospital. I leave the hospital and I go to Najaleek's house. She seems as if she saw a ghost too. Najaleek was too close to the situation not to know what was being planned because Jay baby father was dealing with her friend, and Najaleek and her were cool, real cool. And Najaleek was so close to the situation that it was times where I didn't even want to know stuff that Letitia kept coming to say, but Naj would still tell me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And, she just telling me off the strength that she know that this has something to do with somebody that I'm dealing with. Or she telling me off the strength that she want to keep stuff going. Whatever her intentions was, that's for her to deal with. But that's what it was. But Najaleek was too close to the situation to not know what was being planned because Jay baby father was dealing with her friend. And Najaleek and her friend was real cool. Like, after my car getting shot up, Najaleek went OT with Darniqua, and she even came to New York and ain't even stopped to see me or let me know she was even in New York. Darniqua and Naj ended up falling out when they was out of town, and Naj called me because Darniqua stole her plane ticket and was about to leave her in DC by herself. Darniqua said to me the day after I got shot at that Jay baby father damn near did the shit because Jay told people I shot her house up while her kids was there after saying I tried to kidnap her baby. But she called herself and said, but he probably wouldn't have did that because he know I be in that car, which was not true because she may have only been in my car one time after me and Jay fought. So I had to watch Naja and Darniqua close, as well as Kayla and Kenny. Kayla and Kenny came back to my house, but Kayla couldn't be around me. She couldn't take it. She couldn't believe her eyes. She just kept looking at me and saying, "You a miracle or something." She was completely shocked. She told my mom that the people next door from her sister house had cameras and that they gave her their number and said they would give her the video footage. She called this number in front of me and it was a whole lie. My mom started going off a little bit because Kayla was laughing while she was describing what she supposedly saw. My mom made up a story about how the detective saw and had a description of who was shooting to see if she would change her story from the first initial story that she told us of what happened. And she did. She did exactly that. She changed her whole story to exactly what my mom lied to her and said the detective said. But the whole time, the police was never helping me to begin with. She couldn't be around me or look me in my eyes. She ended up leaving and going to her friend's house. My brother stayed and he talking to my mom saying how Kayla set a dude up before with her brother Ty, I believe his name is, which is also Darnell's cousin, to come to rob some trick at a hotel. So I thought, damn, was she trying to rob me? Like, why would she do that, you know? So my mom talking to Kenny and I just started busting out laughing because I'm delirious, you know. Kayla gone, it's just me and Kenny. Because I kept the people I kept closest to me, the people I had kept closest to me had all became the Judases in my life right in front of my eyes. I was laughing and then I started crying. Like, I was delirious. So I ended up showering, going to sleep. So now it's the next day and I'm still in Buffalo because now I have to call insurance companies and handle all the business that I need to handle. They told me Detective Militello was the investigator on my case, and he told them no, I can't get photos of my car and the stuff out the car that I bought. So I called my people and he ended up getting me a rental in his name. On the 26th of December 2020, I finally got the rental and I drove to New York City. It was so foggy and snowy and snowing heavy too, coming out of Buffalo. And I had no license, just God and my permit. The roads were so foggy at this time, I wanted to stop because I couldn't see. And here I am. I can't turn around. So here I am, driving so slow on the highway. That's the last thing I needed. So a police car comes in front of me and turn their sirens on. I promise you. The cops exit was right before mine. Once he got off at his exit, after a few hours of literally leading me to New York City without pulling me over, no nothing, his exit comes. The sky was like clearer. I was able to see, and my exit was next. Kayla and Kenny was with me because I had to keep them close to really see what I needed to see. Being that it's days later, I didn't even think Kayla was gonna still come and be able to be around me for the drive there, let alone the whole visit, from however long I was originally saying I was going to be in New York City. I think it was 30 days. I think I was going to come back for 30 days, but I ended up staying. See, Kayla's mom was in jail, so she describing what happened to her mom on the phone. Her mom is on speaker, but she didn't know she was on speaker. Kayla's mom said to her, as she's explaining to her mother what happened to me, Kayla's mom said, "Kayla, did you set baby girl up?" She was like, "No, why everybody keeps saying that?" When her own mom said it, Spirit told me right then and there, that was the confirmation I needed. I shouldn't have needed no confirmation after that. Kenny and Kayla had to get away from me at this point. Me and Kayla got into it about her setting me up, and Kenny ended up leaving with her. So I always said, if Kenny didn't pull the trigger and he didn't know at that time of it being planned and premeditated, he eventually got put on to what happened, and he still chose to choose that side. And as much love as I had for all of these people, in my mind, they couldn't have done this to me. So I needed as much confirmation as I could get, but they really did. They all worked together. They were all mindless beings. The only one I feel never snaked me through this was Monty. The only reason we stopped talking is because I told her in order for me to really be able to let him go completely, I had to let her go too, because she was connected to him. And no, she wasn't his family, but she went with his brother, and I wouldn't have been able to heal in the ways I needed to, still being around that. I hope she understood that, though. It was one of the hardest parts of this, not having her there, not having anyone but the spirits and my mom. Who pulled the trigger? Maybe I'll never know. But one thing I do know is that every last person I was around these days and events, as these days and events all played out, everyone I was around played a role. I was set up, it was premeditated, and poorly planned out. All of these energies are what I call zombies and vampires. And I was the light. Jay didn't want to be with Dee. She wanted to be me. She didn't really love or respect herself. Dee didn't love or respect me, or anyone for that matter, because he didn't love or respect himself. And I wasn't loving myself enough to walk away from all of these individuals all the times that I should have walked away before. He was afraid to stand in his truth, so anyone will always be treated like trash dealing with him, because he's into same-sex endeavors but not confident enough to admit it. Do I have proof? Call him in the act with his pants down type proof? No, but I've seen messages and I've seen him be exposed for certain things, and all of these individuals will cross anyone for money. Kayla is lost and was very suicidal. Now Jalik just wasn't loyal, and Monty, I didn't want her to come, but I didn't want to come between her relationship. I didn't want me and D ending to bleed on her and Keith's prospering. I never wanted to make her feel like she had to choose because she wasn't involved in none of this. She didn't deserve to even have that thought to even be stuck with a choice. So yeah. I heard the thoughts when I told my story, and you know, meeting new people and they're thinking all these things about you because you're telling people of things you've been through because you're at a vulnerable state in your life, and people judge you. People judge you, you know. People really judge me off of what I've been through, and I was literally lied on by someone who was obsessed with me, constantly starting with me, constantly trying to start drama with me from 2018 to 2020. Jay put money on my head. And from the looks of it, nobody got paid, or they better get their money back, because I'm still here. I've also been locked out of my email for the past 3 years since I left Buffalo. And guess what? Spirit gave me another early birthday gift. Every day for the month of June, Spirit has given me a birthday gift so far. And getting access to my email is one of them. And so the little video that some of you may have saw, that's all the proof I have for the past 3 years. Now I have everything that you guys are seeing on the screen. Screenshots, messages, pictures, everything is timestamped. I did this video for me because it's people that really think I lied about all of this happening to me. It's people that really believe that I shot her house up and kidnapped her child. But I have all the proof. And this is how I'm able to release this completely without any hate connected to it. Because whether a judge or a jury tell me what it is what it is. Spirit already has told me and clarified it and confirmed it time and time and time and time again. And that's all the proof I need. Sometimes it's like that evil, jealous, envious person or people. Sometimes it's really people that is connected. What I'm trying to say is sometimes it's really people that's evil, jealous, and envious. And they be connected to people with power. And all of these energies use it in all of the most evilest ways. I'm as cool as a summer day chilling under the AC. But I'm going to fight, win, lose, or draw. And my whole thing was, throughout this whole entire experience, from the beginning, if she has so much of an issue with me, we could have fought and shook hands afterwards. But her envy and her obsession with me went over the top, to the point where she literally put money on my head. She lied on my name and stole my identity. She couldn't, can't, and won't ever be able to stop me. Not only did I make this for my own healing reasonings, but I made it for you too. For you to really understand and see how energy works. And that it don't matter if it's your mom, your aunt, your uncle, your friend, your man, your woman. It don't matter. If they ain't right with them, stop dealing with them. because that energy is too accessible to switch up on you at any given time. Energy never lie, people do. This part 1 of part 2. I hope that this gave you the motivation, the empowerment, the confirmation, the motivation that you may have needed to keep growing through your journey. I'll see you in the next upload. Peace.